Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. So you've heard me say on many occasions, pay attention to your government. Pay attention to what your government is doing. When you're not paying attention, it often does not work in your best interest. And this is one of those times where it is absolutely not working in your best interest. U.S. lawmakers seek to criminally outlaw support against boycott campaign against Israel. So like the BDS campaign, nonviolent protests, essentially saying, I'm not going to purchase anything from businesses that deal with Israeli settlements. The goal of it is to put pressure on Israel in a nonviolent way, using economics to do so. The United States, bipartisan, many of these guys are working together to try to get legislation passed to essentially put U.S. citizens in prison for 20 years for being a part of the protests. A group of 43 senators, 29 Republicans and 14 Democrats want to implement a law that will make it a felony for Americans to support the international boycott against Israel, which was launched in protest of that country's decade-old occupation of Palestine. Understand, the occupation that the rest of the world considers to be illegal. To be legal, you're essentially stealing people's land and militarily occupying another person's land. They're trying to get to the point in this country, mind you, the country that's supposed to be the country of free speech and this politics, meaning the individual for the most part can participate in whatever politics they believe in. They're literally trying to criminalize political thought. That's literally what's taking place. There is a far cry from Americans sending money and resources to, say, some kind of terrorist group, as opposed to Americans saying, yeah, I don't want to support a terrorist government. I have no issue with Israel at all. I don't like your government. I think you have a right-wing government. And so, yes, it makes sense to me that people would get involved in that particular process of saying, I'm going to find a nonviolent means of expressing my disapproval. Whether you agree with Israel or not, besides the point, do you honestly believe that they should criminalize nonviolent protests? And it's not even criminalizing nonviolent protests. It's people making a decision on what they themselves want to do with their money. If they make the choice that they don't want to give their money to a particular business because that business holds up a particular edifice that they themselves don't necessarily agree with, should that be criminalized? Wherever you fall on that issue, the answer to that question should be no. And if these guys can't get anything else done in Washington, but are you telling me that they can get together and come to some consensus on, yeah, we need to curtail American rights. That's what we need to do. We need to curtail American rights. Democrats and Republicans. The two primary sponsors of the bill are Democrat Ben Cardin of Maryland and Republican Rob Portman of Ohio. Perhaps the most shocking is the punishment. Anyone guilty of violating the prohibitions will face a minimum civil penalty of $250,000 and a maximum of $1 million and 20 years in prison. The proposed measure, called the Israel Anti-Boycott Act, was introduced by Cardin on March 23rd. The Jewish Telegraph Agency reports the bill was drafted with the assistance of AIPAC. Indeed, AIPAC, in its 2017 lobby agenda, identified the passage of this bill as one of its top lobbying priorities of the year. Now here's the catch. Just because some faction in this particular country wants a particular bill passed, are these guys representing their particular constituents, or are these guys representing that particular support group? Certainly, they're not representing their constituents. There is no one clamoring in this country outside of this particular lobby for that law. Nobody. Of all the issues that are affecting this particular country, are you telling me that a nonviolent boycott against a country that's occupying another country is the thing that needs to be at the top of the list? And even though nothing else can garner actual support, this can get Democrats and Republicans on the same page. That's fucking amazing. That's absolutely amazing. The ACLU posted a letter that is sent to all the members of the Senate urging them to oppose the bill, warning that proponents of the bill are seeking additional co-sponsors. The Civil Liberties Group explained that it would punish individuals for no reason other than their political beliefs. The letter detailed what makes this bill so threatening. Violations will be subject to a minimum civil fine of $250,000 and a maximum criminal penalty of $1 million and 20 years in prison. The bill would impose civil and criminal penalties on individuals solely because of their political beliefs about Israel and its policies. Under the bill, however, only a person whose lack of business ties to Israel is politically motivated would be subject to fines and imprisonment, even though there are many others who engage in the same very behavior. In short, the bill would punish businesses and individuals based solely on their point of view. Such a penalty is in direct violation of the First Amendment. That being said, it is not stopping Republicans and Democrats from essentially signing on and getting on the same page. Pay attention to your government. Pay attention to your government. Do you honestly believe that your government is working in your best interest if your government is trying to pass something like this? That's not a trick question. The answer to that is no. No government that would be working for the best interests of the people of that particular country would ever even put something up like this, let alone have a bunch of people signing on to it. That's amazing. This is absolutely amazing. They've gotten to the point where they're criminalizing political thought and political speech. That's amazing. I'll leave it at that. I'll put the article, I'll put the article at the bottom so everybody can read it. Thanks, guys.